Hello everyone, time for your daily dose of voice leading. I am being assisted today by my cat Max. He's right here. Say hi, Max. Okay, alright, so you may see a black paw reaching in if I make a mistake. He's the one who catches all my errors, actually. Okay, so this figured bass is in F sharp minor. Oh, he likes my pen. Okay, so I'm going to do the analysis first. So we've got 1, 5, 6. This chord right here with a 6 underneath, that's going to be the 2 diminished chord in first inversion. And here, do you remember the cadential 6/4? It looks like the notes of a 1/6/4, but it functions like a 5 chord. So we call that a cadential 6/4, like this. This ties in with what we were talking about recently about harmonic function. This is functioning as a dominant. That's why we don't label it as a 1. Okay, so we're kind of more sophisticated about this now. So here we've got the 1 chord. I'd like to encourage you to look at every progression we do now in part writing, analysis, and think about it in terms of the paradigms that I've presented to you. Does it follow the paradigms? Does it deviate significantly? And if so, why? Basically, you want to just notice what's happening and just see. In a way, you can be testing my hypotheses about the circle of fifths and the functional, well, they're not mine, but the ones that I presented to you. And if they deviate, it's interesting to look at why that happens. If we look at this one, you can see that 1 goes to 5. That's legit. 1 can go anywhere. 5 to 6 is our deceptive progression, right? We expect 5 to go to 1, but instead it surprises us and goes to 6. Here, let me get this better focused. Once we're on 6, we can go 6, 2, 5, 1. And we could view that as a section of the circle of fifths, 1, 4, 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. We could think of this as predominant going to dominant, going to tonic. There's a lot of overlap here, okay? So essentially we move from 1 to 5, that defines our initial key. We have this deceptive motion to 6, which then kicks off a forward-moving circle of fifths type thing, okay? All right, so let's voice this first chord. I see the bass goes primarily down, so I don't need to be concerned too much about spacing. I'm just gonna start the tenor right there. And let's do this, kind of a nice close spacing. Okay, so 1 is going to go to 5. We want the smoothest possible voice leading, so we're going to get this here. Remember, the sharp means the third above the bass is raised a half step, and typically that's giving you the leading tone in a dominant chord, and that's the case here. Okay, so here we go. So you can see a common tone, 2 voices move by step. That's something we see very often, especially when we're moving around the circle of fifths. Now 5 going to 6, okay. You remember when the bass moves by step, the upper voices should move contrary motion. And just look here at these 2 here. If C sharp goes to D, and this goes to the closest chord tone, it would go to D. That would be parallel octaves. So we have to avoid that by going contrary motion. I'm going to do that here. Okay, however, when you go from 5 to 6, the one exception is you still resolve the leading tone up. And there are 2 reasons for that. 1, we want to resolve the leading tone. We've gone to all the trouble to raise it a half step. We should let it go where it wants to go. Secondly, if this note, this E sharp, went contrary motion to the bass, it would go to D natural. and our bass would be this. That is a melodic augmented second, and we want to avoid that because it's not only is the E sharp not going where it wants to go, we're replacing its natural path with something that's very difficult to sing and dissonant. Okay, so root position triads, you double the root, except in the sixth chord, that's part of a deceptive progression. Excuse me. The sixth chord in the context of a circle of fifths progression, if you go 1, 4, 7, 3, 6, that sixth chord you would double the right way. You would double the standard way. It's only when you go from 5 to 6 you want to honor the leading tone resolving, and that doubles the third of the sixth chord. Okay, so now we're heading to a 2/6 chord. That's G sharp, B, D. This very easily goes to B, G sharp here, and now this is going to go down to D. That's our closest place we can do that. And now we're heading into the cadential 6/4. When you see a repeated bass note on the dominant with a 6/4 and a 5/3 or the sharp, what that means is above the bass, first of all, what that means is you double the bass, and then above the bass, you are going to write a sixth. There it is. It's telling you write a sixth above the bass and write a fourth above the bass. Once you have those, it tells you here 6 goes to 5. This is 6 going to 5. 4 goes to 3. Okay, and this here's the sharp 3, of course, from harmonic minor, and the C sharp stays the same. So now that we're on this chord, we're on our final 5 chord, we can resolve leading tone to F, common tone C sharp, G up to A. Okay, so that is the figured bass of the day, number 2. All right, so all for now. Happy part writing.